Welcome to the Jump Ball Show. I'm your host, Mo Dakhil, former video coordinator with the Clippers, Spurs, Team Australia, write for Bleacher Report, write for The Athletic, and podcast for The Athletic. If you haven't already, go read my latest X's and Mo's on theathletic.com. If you're not a subscriber, go subscribe. Do it off of my story. It helps me a lot more. I'll drop the link here right now, actually. Ran through basically the gist of it was the Phoenix Suns offense. I kind of broke that down, and hey, I really think you guys should check it out. It's good stuff, man. I like the writer. He's smart. Stream here on Twitch. Do watch-alongs on playback. Yes, Zach, we're doing a Wemby versus Chet game. I think, listen, the first time these guys played, there was a lot of hype around it. Wasn't that great. I think the both of them kind of got caught in the nerves there a little bit. Second time around, I think it was better. And I think the ultimate thing in all of this was I've seen some things here. We're gonna run through the game just chronological, not separated. Chet Wemby, whatnot, with all those things. But there's a lot of stuff there that I thought was good for both guys. There's stuff that was bad. With that regard, I think there's a lot kind of going into it. Before we start that breakdown, I like to let the room kind of fill up a little bit. I don't know if that means we're going to get more people or not, but I'm hoping we will. I want to talk just a few other things. Woke up to the news that Wes Unseld is no longer the head coach of the Washington Wizards, and he's going to go up and take a job in the front office. And Brian Keefe is going to be the interim head coach, and then they will look to hire a coach in the offseason. They're not going to hire a new coach now. Good for West and I have to coach the team. I'm hoping it's his choice. I'm hoping this is him and not them deciding, hey, we're not going to do it. I just think it sucks in the sense of, like, he finally gets a shot, and it's a crappy rebuild team. And I think that's the thing I'm kind of curious about. I don't have any inside information on that. I don't know how it kind of plays out with that. But I just feel like some of these guys get these coaching opportunities after a lot of chances, like a lot of interviews and whatnot. And they end up not and then they get the job, and then they get screwed in these jobs. And I think there's a lot of that there. So I don't know what the story is yet with Washington. Just, all right, cool. It's a bad team. It's meant to be bad. They're going to tear this thing all the way down to the studs. They're not done yet. I know the latest report was they were reluctant to remove Kyle Kuzma. Somebody puts a good first-round pick on the table, they'll probably move Kuzma. And I think they should. I think that he's not going to do anything for them there. Kyle Kuzma averaging 25 points or 20 points a game for your team, it means you're a bad team. Kyle Kuzma being a role player on your team means you're a quality playoff, maybe even a contender. And that's kind of the difference in the two different players you get from Kuzma, and you kind of know what team he's on based on that. And I think those are the things you got to kind of watch for with that. So there was that. I want to touch briefly on this is a little bit silly, but Luka Doncic kind of getting a Suns fan ejected from the game. I haven't seen much reported other than the fan said something of like you get on a treadmill, you're tired, like basically heckling. I haven't seen the fans say anything off the wall, so let's just assuming it was normal heckling and it wasn't anything that crossed the line. Oh, it was not. He was not ejected. Just asked him to move. Was he not? Somebody help me out here because I thought he was ejected. Left voluntarily. Okay, then he probably wasn't in the right seat. Let's be honest. He was probably not in the right seat. Either way, I think Luka kind of pointing out a fan in the crowd that's heckling him, like, grow up, dude. I don't care that you're home. Don't be soft. Don't be soft. Like, I just thought it was kind of lame. Sorry. Like, in that sense, and you could say whatever you want about McMahon reporting it, and Luka could be upset that McMahon reported it. Happened right in front of him. He's going to report it. Like, don't be soft. Play the game, man. And like I get it, and there's a lot. You can look at a lot of things in that game with the Mavs. Could have some complaints. One, Grant Williams, standing over KD. Nurkic comes over, shoves him, and then KD shoves Grant. 3 technicals given out. And I think Zach, I mean, I curse a lot. So, like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it sucks and whatnot. And you can go. Listen, it's one thing if the families go and complain, right? If a family goes, like, hey, man, I got my kids here, dude. Don't be cursing like this. And then they go to the usher. That's a different story, Zach, right? Like, in all of that stuff. But, I don't think Booker's treat's worse. I think it's funny. I think it kind of hypes up. Again, I like rivalries. I like these things being chippy. I think there's a level of that, and I think that's kind of a thing. Zach, I don't think you can heckle without being an ass. Honestly, I don't think you can heckle without being an ass. Having been somebody that heckles, I do feel like an ass half the time. And in that regard. But I don't think you can really do it without being a pain in the ass. And look, telling Luka to get his ass on a treadmill. Really? Like that really hurt you, Luka? That if that's really what was said, like that really hurt you? Like, come on, man. With that. But it's fun that this game got chippy. I think the Mavs have a case to complain about one thing. There was a play where Yusuf Nurkic basically, I wouldn't even say it was a charge. I think Grant tried to flop a charge. He got bumped by Nurkic, flopped, didn't get the call, lays it up, and then talks some trash to Grant. And this is after both guys have already been teed up. And nothing happens. It's right in front of the ref. Doesn't tee up the refs. Then Grant says something to the refs. They teed him up. Automatic ejection. I think Shane, let's wait for that at the end. I think the complaint from the Mavs could be like, man, if you're gonna allow Nurkic to do that, then you should allow Grant as well to kind of retort. And I think that's kind of one of those things with what you have. I think there's a lot of interesting dichotomy with that. There's a lot of stuff with that. And yeah, like for me, I don't like Grant, so it's not like I was really hurt with that. It hasn't worked out well for the Mavs with Grant Williams, although this was probably his best shooting game, unfortunately. But the problem with Dallas is they get too caught up in the officials. Everybody does, but it just seems like Dallas does way too much. Way too much. And I think that's a big issue. And I think that's something it's been a problem with Luka for a while. It seems to be everybody on that team. I was on the Clippers. My last year with the Clippers, we had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and Doc Rivers. 3 of the biggest complainers you can actually have in the NBA. 3 of the biggest pain in the asses you could have in the NBA. And I mean, it got so bad that then DeAndre Jordan started complaining, and it's like, why are you arguing, and arguing with her? It just got bad, and then we as a team had that rep, and it made things a little more difficult for us. If there's a 50-50 call, I wouldn't say it was malicious. JP, go listen to Nerder She Wrote, because we talked about it on Nerder She Wrote yesterday, and I think we did a good job there. I don't want to keep reliving the stuff that happened already. But I think that stuff affected us. And I think, it's funny, talking to Chauncey Billups once, he said, the ultimate thing was with one of those, he thinks the Pistons would have won more championships had they also not been so difficult with the refs. They're less willing to hear you out, Zach. And I'll say this, and I've said it before, and then guys, I promise, we'll get to the Wemby stuff, Chet Wemby in a second. The other thing with the refs is, they got to be better too. Not just on calls. They got to have more patience. We got to get rid of this taunting technical. It's absolutely dumb. Derrick Jones Jr. dunked all over somebody yesterday. I forget who it was. Like it was Nurkic. Put Nurkic on a poster. I don't even think he did much, and they gave him a taunting technical. Nah, man, no. Stop this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this taunting technical. It's stupid. And my response is, while that guy's taunting, you need to be running the ball up the court. And I think the quick tees have been really bad. And I think the biggest case of a quick technical was that Portland Oklahoma City game. Look, Chauncey's trying to get a timeout. He doesn't get it called. Ball gets turned over. Okay. Chauncey says something to the refs, and the ref immediately teed him up. Maybe Chauncey said the magic word, but you also got to give him a minute. You got to let him get his stuff out because he's pissed and in the heat of the moment. Then, because Chauncey's so frustrated, he ends up on the court trying to talk to the next ref. That's an automatic ejection. The second technical, probably worth it. The first one, was not the worthy. Yeah, like that's exactly what he was doing, but you can't be on the court like that. And I think honestly, like they screwed up. They should have given him the first tech. And if they don't give him the first tech, I don't think he gets the second tech. He was pissed. He was trying to get a timeout called. They couldn't hear him, whatnot. Bad break for him and the Blazers. Happens from time to time. I'll say this. You're probably almost better off running all the way to the other side and yelling timeout. But, like, you got to do whatever it takes to get the timeout called. But it is what it is. Now, that's not a good thing for me, Shane. But they got to be better. And I think the players got to be better with the refs as well. Because I'll say this, man. The bickering is way too much. They all do it every game. Everybody's doing it. It's way too much. It's a job, like, honestly, like, if it probably pays well. But otherwise, like, it's got to be miserable. And I think that's kind of bullshit, in that stuff. So that's kind of the important. That's just kind of the latest sort of just around the NBA stuff that we're seeing and things I wish were kind of a little bit better. But let's go ahead and make the switch. This is what we're here for, right? I hope not, Zach. I hope not. Because that would probably kill my tiny podcasting career. All right, but let's go ahead and let's just go to the game last night. And honestly, this is what it is to me. It's Kong versus Godzilla. Like, that's the fun stuff for me with that game last night. We have a lot of fun with that. It's I hope this is a rivalry we have for the next 10 years. I hope these guys, and they feel it. They have it, You can feel them kind of have moments of going at each other. And so let's just kind of run through the clips, the highlights, all that stuff, some lowlights. Not everything's in here, but a good amount. So here we go. I mean, right off the bat, the one thing I'd say is that for the most part, Chet did not guard Wemby. Wemby guarded Chet a lot more. In that stuff with switches and things, there were opportunities where Chet ended up matched up on Wemby, but is what it is. And just, I mean, that's just Wemby going right at him. And again, it's a little bit, you know what it looks like a little bit sometimes? Same with Chet on some of these drives. Like a baby deer learning to walk. Like they're still figuring out their stuff there. Spur, I actually felt like it was different than that. I felt it was the other way around. I felt Wemby pushed him around way more than Chet pushed Wemby. But here he just goes right through him there. It's a little bit clunky, but strong take. Off the lob. This is just off of him. Oh, Vic, I read it wrong, Spur. My bad. I read it wrong. My mistake. Chet needs to be a step over already on this pick and roll, right? If he's going to take the roller, he needs to be a step over right now. Giddey's got the weak side, and it's Sohan on the weak side. Let him shoot, man. Rotates over, draws picks up the foul there because he's a little bit late. Wemby goes to the line. Here we go now, coming off the screen, and this is just great from Chet. I thought he does a great job here. just handling the pick and roll. He doesn't switch. He's kind of playing center field. Good job from J-Dub hanging with Vassell, kind of fighting over the top. He's driving him into Chet. Giddey in good help position. You do have the kick out, but you're not going to worry about Wesley too much. I think this is what you want. Chet just times it, right? And this is the thing, right? Like, he's still with Victor till the last second, then just comes over. And when he comes over, this is a great late switch here. When Chet comes over, Williams takes Victor and puts his body into Victor, takes him out of the play. Block from Chet, they get the rebound, and then they're off and running. And then here we go in transition off the same play. This is one thing you have to be aware of with Wemby. Man, he's coming like Jason in a horror flick. He's always behind you. He's just always behind you. Like, he doesn't – he's lining up Shea, sees what's happening. He kind of sees it, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to block this guy's shot. Boom, comes over the top. Good job from Sohan, by the way. If Sohan doesn't come off and sort of help to delay Williams, Victor doesn't have a chance to make this block. But he forces Williams to double pump, and Vic's able to come in and clean up. This is the thing about Shea, and this is probably like the only real clip I'm talking about with Shea. Because I want to say one thing too. This game was a bad game. The Spurs get blown out. I don't want to dive into other stuff. I just wanted to dive into those two guys. But Wemby's got to give help here, right? And he's got to give a little bit better help. But I think part of it too with Wemby, with his length, he can recover. So he comes over and just hands with Shea and does a good job over the top. But, I mean, both these guys get the block. Good stuff right there from Wemby. And Sohan. Here we go. Same situation. Again, Wemby's got to give help, right? And this is where Chet cooks. Because he's playing off of Shea perfectly. And he's the perfect partner with Shea in the sense of Wemby gives help. That's, even for Wemby, that's a lot of ground to cover. He doesn't really get a contest. Splash from Chet. Swing Chet with a nice pump fake, and you got to respect his shot, right? If you're Sohan, you got to respect the shot. Drives down the lane. Wemby just comes through a little bit late, right? Like here again, Wemby's not in the greatest of help position. Good job from Chet drawing the and one. Got the replay of it here. Just good stuff. Screen and roll. The Spurs get the switch. Works out perfectly. You would think Dort being a tank is still going to be able to kind of hold Wemby off. But look at just look at the size difference. Good, strong post up from Wemby. Gets it, spins, gets position. Spins off. Chet comes over to help. Good help from Chet. And just a good recovery from Wemby. And again, because he's so long, he's able to stretch these things out. It's kind of insane. Yeah, he's going at Collins. I mean, this is the stuff with, I do think Chet and Wemby both need to tighten up their handles here a little bit if they're going to do this stuff off the dribble a little more. This is a nice one here. Spurs are trapping Giddey. He gets off of it. Collins overcommits. Chet just turns right around him. Beautiful take from Chet. Mumford, that's a good question. I think it's kind of, part of it is depending on guys and whatnot. I would say I'd go for the rim protection more than the threes. Like, just think about the fact, like, the Bucks won a championship and built a great defense by, hey, we're making sure you can't get buckets at the rim. So I would prefer him to go attack that more often than not. But I think it's one of those things you also are deciding game by game, which doesn't help you in terms of your question. But I think for me, if I had to pick one, I'd pick rim protection. If I, it's tough. All right, here we go. Screen and roll. I mean, he's pick and pop. Again, good look here. Chet does just enough to get Wemby to rise up. That little pump fake, just enough. Good help. here from somebody help me out. Branham is 22, right? Right there. Just forces Chet to change direction. Wemby's with him right there. Solid defense right off the bat there from the Spurs. Another screen and roll with Micic. Again, Wemby squeezes in. You got Osman coming in. I would almost kind of wish at one point Osman pulls out and goes to Chet and let Micic try to work on Wemby. They're both there, though. Kicks it out. Good pass from Micic. Good pump fake from Holmgren. Good job from Wemby running Holmgren off the line, right? Like, that's also important. Dribble pull-up. That's a tough shot, man. Osman's there to contest. They miss it. Spurs get the rebound. One-on-one now. This is a good pass. This is the right idea of a pass. I love this from Wemby. He drives. Williams comes over. Who is that? Wesley? Comes to help. Just doesn't. The pass needs to be just. The idea is great. The execution needs to be a little bit better than that. You got to watch him in transition. He's not shooting it great, but you still got to be ready for that in transition. Chet was there. I don't feel anything real bad about that one. Either way. It's a travel, but I do like that he's seeing it. Even off the spin, he's seeing Wesley cut. Or a double dribble, excuse me. But he's seeing the action. Run a little post action, get it to Wemby. He's got a triple team. He's literally got a triple team coming, and he sees the cutting action. I mean, first off, this is great cutting from the Spurs. You got one cut from Johnson, one from Osman, and one from Wesley. I mean, that's good stuff. That's good passing, and that's good awareness from Wemby. Again, Wemby at his size is going to see over the top of it. Switch right here. But the thing about it, and this is what I kind of like from Wemby, he doesn't just stop. All right, cool. I got this. He comes in over the top. And like I said, he's coming in from behind over and over and over again. Not quitting on plays. Williams with the miss. This is the thing the Spurs are doing a lot, right? Run out after shots. We saw it in the sometimes it backfires. We saw it in the Sixers game when we did the Embiid breakdown. Good kick ahead this time. He just goes through Williams. That's almost more impressive than him going through Chet to me. Just bumps him. Chet comes in, and he gets the finish over the top there. Like, that's a big boy move. That's a big boy move. Gets it in the post. Again, massive traffic. Good kick out to McDermott for a clean look. McDermott misses, but still, clean look right there. You can't be mad with that. Chet, again, great timing off the pick and roll here. Vassell comes off even with more speed this time around the pick and roll, and Chet just reacts perfectly and rejects it. And again, you get the same thing. This time it's good credit to Wiggins peeling off and taking Wembanyama. Well, just puts a body on him. Can't get to him. Good stuff right there from the defense from the Thunder. Good contest from Chet. Wemby's just too big. He's just too big, man. Like, for a guard to have to try to box him out. He's doing pretty well in San Antonio. This was great. One, you're going to see this a couple of times. This is what the Spurs are doing to run a lot of post-ups. And Chet makes a nice read here. Or excuse me, Wemby makes a nice read. Chet goes underneath. Wemby just goes over the top, flashes to the high post. He only gets a bump from Dort, and this is just crazy length. Catches it here. Pivot dunk. Catches it at just under the free throw line. Pivot dunk. Like, that's some impressive stuff right there. Again, the cross screen action. Wemby gets it in the post. This time Dort comes straight on the double. Good double from Dort. Good defense from Chet, just being solid. Contest a tough shot. Sometimes that's all you can do is force him into that stuff. Great. I mean, all around. First off, we have Wemby as the ball handler in the pick and roll. Great pocket pass. One hand bounce pass perfectly into Bonchero. Or excuse me, not Bonchero. This is what happens. Perfectly into Sohan's hands. And then good recovery from Chet. Just coming over for the block. Impressive play for both guys. All right, you get the switch. They need to get better, and we're going to have another example here, but they need to get better with the post-entry passes, man. He needs to hold the seal a little bit better, but they need to get better with the post-entry passes. Chet comes over to help, and, man, what a beautiful dime. Great cut from Sohan. What a beautiful dime. The one thing I love with Chet is he's such a willing passer. Oh, did I put this in here twice? I believe I did. All right. Move on to the next one. Well, they got to find a way, Zach, to get better at it in San Antonio. This is just one of those things. Man, I wish he would just help more on this. Just don't reach. Block the way. Force the kick out. Force the kick out, man. Yeah, Chet's going to get a wide open look at a three, but, man, I'd rather that than giving up an and one with just you throwing your hand in there. That one bothered me from Wemby. Another post up on Dort. Good cut again. Chet comes to help. Good cut here this time from Wesley. Just easy stuff, man. I don't know what the Spurs must have been in a zone here and not really paying attention and they dodge a bullet here because you can't give Chet that clean of a look. Did he get a piece of that? Oh, he might have gotten a piece of that. Give him credit if that's impressive. All right, Chet again, or excuse me, Wemby again. This time he has Shea on him. Great help from Dort, man. And that's one of the things here. When you make the post entry pass, you got to move somewhere. You can't just stand here. You cannot just stand here. Move this way, cut through, whatever, clear out. You can't just stand here so Dort can kind of come in for that rejection. That block I'd blame on Vassell. Great play from Dort. And this is just. You ever been to the park and when you put up a shot, this is one of those like, give me that. This is exactly what that was. I mean, he damn near just took it out of his hands. This is one of the plays where I was really impressed with the physicality from Victor. Just watch him just push Chet out of the way to get that rebound and then go right at him again and draw the foul. There's a couple more of those coming here in a second. Good, clean look. He just missed it. I'm fine with that. That's good. Good deep post up from Wemby, right? Like when the ball gets swung, he's immediately working into position. And he's right there. I mean, he's good luck, man. Just over the top. There's nothing you can really do. Nothing you can really do. Now here's him in transition, just a dribble pull up. Man, I don't mind it from Wemby. Don't mind it. And now it's Chet's turn, right? Gets it off the rebound. He starts going. Wemby's tired, not really sprinting back. Gets going at the end. And again, this one kind of sucks. Sohan gets called for the foul for that reach. Wemby comes in from behind to make sure it's not an and one. For me, in my sense here, like I understand Wemby's protecting the rim. I kind of don't think he needs to come over. I think he needs to read that better. He's too deep in the paint. When the kick out gets to Holmgren, he's got no chance. And this is just straight through you. I want to go through it again before. We'll see it on the replay, but I just want to see it one more time. Here, we're just the jab step to the right and then go. And then just right through Chet. Like, that's just, hey, man. That's big time. This is the fun stuff. This is I want the rivalry between these two. And great work from Chet here. Just watch the work off of, first off, he goes with Wemby on the cross screen, goes underneath with him, fronting him, and then just works over the top. This is a terrible pass from McDermott. Good ball pressure from Wiggins, by the way, but this is a terrible pass from McDermott. Chet gets the steal, and now he's going in transition. Just beautiful stuff. Nobody slows him up. Easy stuff. Good stuff there from Chet. Defensively, fighting for that position, getting the steal, then going in transition. Vassell, you got to step up and pick him up much earlier. Force him to give it up. This time they get the switch. Chet goes right through Vassell. Or, excuse me, Johnson gets the clean dunk, man. Good stuff there. I mean, I don't know how to describe that. I just don't know how to describe the shot, right? Like, goes, spins off of him. I'm just going to try a hook shot. Like, it's just kind of amazing with some of the stuff Wemby's doing. I love this, man. I love this one. Face up, jab step, left dribble, right into a pull-up. Man, that's pretty. That's pretty. Good kick out to Chet. I mean, that's one of the things with Chet. He's going to get a lot of spot-up opportunities here. Good pump fake. Good job from Wemby to run him off the line. You know, just kind of continues to push in and get that. And then here's this one. He goes up top with the cross screen. I mean, man. First, just watch how far he bumps Chet back. Before we even get into the dunk attempt. Just watch him on the catch. Boom. And then tries to nearly end him. Good on Chet for trying to block it. Man. That's amazing stuff right there. That's it for the edit there. I think honestly, as Wemby gets bigger, and I mean just kind of fills out a little bit more. Good Lord, that's gonna be a problem for people. And I think Chet's gonna get stronger too. I actually think Wemby has a better chance to put on more weight and carry it well than Chet in my regard. This is gonna be a fun rivalry. I think in this one there, I kind of got to give it to Wemby, even though the Spurs got killed. The thing I would say between the two games is, I saw some people tweeting out like how great Chet was and his numbers, finished with 17 points and all those things. He got a lot of that in the fourth quarter when this game was pretty much decided. I didn't feel like he was ultra aggressive. Wemby was working throughout the whole game. And I think there's all that stuff. Chet can shoot better. I think Wemby's a better shooter than he's shown. I'm happy to concede that, Shane, that like Chet's a better shooter, but I think all around game, I think Wemby's the better player. And I think that's kind of the difference there. I'm gonna run a quick ad, and then we're gonna do some. I want to take a look at some stats here between the two of those guys as we compare them, and then we'll end with questions. All right, so give me a second. Cool. Oh man, how's everybody doing? How are the subscribers doing today? I gotta find something better to do in these when I do an ad break, and I know that some of you guys are watching me. I gotta find a better ready to roll. Zach, why you fired up, man? What's got you juiced up today? All right. Also, before we get started, if you're new, please, if you just want to lurk and not jump in the chat, appreciate it. The chat's usually awesome. we don't really get into having any problems. You can disagree and we can argue and go back and forth just as long as nobody um, makes it uncomfortable, and basically just don't be a jerk with that stuff. If you like what you see, please give me a follow. If you really like it, please subscribe. It helps me a ton. The more subscribers I get, the more I'm able to kind of do this more often with all those things. I like that, Zach. We had good basketball last night. We had fun basketball actually the past couple of nights. So I'm with you, Zach. We've had some good basketball. All right, I want to go through some stats here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make that bigger, but I'm also going to turn the camera on this side so you guys can see me. Oh no, can you see me? Sorry, guys. I should have prepped this a little bit better. All right. Well, you can't see me. You're a loss. Hold on. Is that why you couldn't see me? Nope. Okay. Never mind. You're a loss. You don't get to see me. Let's zoom into this. All right. So just for the overall stats for the season, I don't care about the wins for the regular season. The Thunder are going to win all the games. It might be your loss. It might be your win. I don't know, Shane. Up to you to decide. There's when you look at the breakdowns, like Wemby's averaging more points. He's averaging more rebounds, just barely more assists. Almost a half a steal more. The blocks are what's interesting to me. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. Chet's going to win that. Chet's getting the easier looks. Like, I don't think it's worth arguing that, right? Like, playing with Shea gives him a lot more cleaner looks. And I think that's really important with all of that stuff, right? So he gets cleaner looks. Free throw percentage is what it is. Again, because he's getting cleaner looks, higher effective field goal percentage with all that stuff. BPM, VORP, I generally don't care about that stuff. We can go to the usage here, my man. Where are we at? Was this the advanced? No. Here's the advanced. Usage, again, totally different, right? Chet, 10 points lower. You can see it right there. 21.6. Wemby, 31.7. Massive difference, right? And I think that's something I'm going to touch on here at the end with the stuff as I hit my Rookie of the Year thoughts with all that stuff. But so one thing I had kind of been thinking about a little bit for a while now. Excuse me, I'm trying to learn how to speak English. Is I've felt like since the turn of the calendar, I felt like Chet's play has dropped off a little bit. I went and watched this team play the Clippers. I obviously watched the Laker game, but I was at the Clipper game live, and I felt like I could feel some of that stuff from Chet dropping off. So I looked at the numbers for just January between the two guys. And again, I'm going to zoom in, make this easier for us. Still, you guys probably still can't see it. All right. This a little bit better, I hope. Just off in January, right? Chet's played more games, is playing more minutes. The Victor's on a minutes restriction. They just lifted that yesterday. They've gone from 25 to 30 minutes now. So Wemby's minutes will go up. What's Weeby? For just a point differential, you've seen in Chet's kind of numbers dropped off, whereas Wemby's has lifted up. Field goal percentage, 52.3, about the same. 3-point percentage, no question. Chet's the better 3-point shooter. Free throw percentage, this is a big one to me. And this is part of the usage and part of the fact that, again, this is Chet playing on Shea's team and Victor being the main guy. Usage-wise, he's only getting to the free throw line 3 times a game. Wemby, six times a night. Pretty impressive with that. And then it helps that he's actually converts those at a much higher level. Effective field goal percentage just for the month of January. Chet's a little bit better, but Wemby's has gone up throughout the course of the season. The rebounding, it's funny. Victor's rebounding for the season has actually dropped off. But, I'm surprised Chet's number is actually that low at 6.1. I would expect Chet to be a little bit higher on that. Assists, Chet gets it. I think, again, part of that, too, is Chet has better teammates, so has a better chance of converting assists. Steals are steals, blocks. I mean, Wemby's just blocking everything. So is Chet, but just by one more. Wemby, again, usage-wise, this is kind of more comparable when you consider the usage. Fouls about the same. So, when you look at it for me, I mean, Victor's having an unbelievable month to start out. And I think that's part of it there. And for me, like, when I look at this thing, to me, Victor's the rookie of the year. And it's and part of it is, like, one thing for me, there's a few things. One, I take out record when it comes to rookie of the year. I don't think it's fair in this regard. I think it's hard to hold Victor accountable for the fact that the Spurs just suck. And that, Chet has landed in a perfect landing spot, in Oklahoma City and playing with a potential MVP. Shane, I don't know what you're saying. I'm crazy? No, I'm not. I'm really not. It's not even close. I'm perfectly sane. And by the way, it's not taking a shot at Chet for in any way. Chet's been awesome. Chet's been great. But I think the fact that Wemby has to go through as the number one option, whereas Chet comes through as the number 2, number 3 option on his team, it's a big difference. Big difference in the defense that you're seeing. It's a big difference. Let me put it to you this way. We have that clip. Wemby had 3 guys picking him up. That says a lot to me. Like, they didn't just double team him, they triple teamed him. Didn't really see that with Chet. And part of it, again, is because the team is so damn good, it's hard to. Like, who are you going to double off? Shea? No. You're not going to double off Williams. Like, it's hard in that regard. So I think there's a little bit of that stuff there. I think if this stuff continues to progress, if Chet is probably going to win Rookie of the Year because Shea's going to win it for him. People are going to hold the record against Wemby. And I think that's unfair. For me, when you just look at it right here, being the number one option, being the man, and being the guy that has to handle everything, I think you got to look at Victor's numbers a little bit differently. And the fact that he's actually freaking producing. And he did that off of 25 minutes a night. When you look at his regular season numbers, 20 points off 25 minutes a night is pretty damn impressive. Like, I think when you look at that kind of stuff, like when you do the per 36, it's a ridiculous number. What's Wemby's per 36? Sorry, I had it somewhere. Yeah, 25.8 points. 4 blocks a game. Chet's, by the way, nothing to sneeze at. Per 36, 33 blocks a game is also impressive. 20.4 points. Damn good. I just think it's oh, I totally disagree, Shane. I'm actually the other way around. I think Wemby kills if the spots flip. I think Chet doesn't if he's in San Antonio. I don't think it's if you put Shea with Chet, Shea with Wemby, and he's getting all these open looks. I think he break my brain. And by the way, Chet has broken my brain. Chet has done some amazing things. Chet's pick and pop, which is his 3-point shooting, is better than Wemby's, does help Shea a ton. I just think it's a long way in that I think there's more of a gap than people realize. And I think for me, Wemby's Rookie of the Year. I think I'm going to give the guy who's the number one option on a team, who's putting up the numbers. Yeah, but Shane, he's also getting a lot more wide open looks than Wemby. Do you have a problem doubling off Sohan? I don't. Right? Like, it's all of those things. Again, part of that reason why Chet's getting such clean looks is they're wide open threes. And let's not go like, let's kind of just, his 3-point percentage is better than Wemby's, by a lot. He's killing it. Like, there's no question about it. And he's knocking them down. and he's a shooter, and we know he can shoot. So much easier. So much easier when they're wide freaking open. Let me pull up some NBA stats here. Let's see Chet's numbers on shooting. Sorry guys, this is fun. And Shane, keep going. We can differ. I think Chet's going to end up winning Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he's going to be the Rookie of the Year in my mind. For me, right now, it's Wemby. He's got a harder job to do. He's producing massive numbers, and if he had better teammates, the team would probably be a little bit better. Like the fact Onion saying that the fact Trey Jones is considered a savior for this team is a problem. The team is that bad. Spurs criminal negligence by not getting Wemby a point guard to play with. Oh, the Thompson twins are fun as hell. No question. I like the Thompson twins. So, I mean, like, again, this is the thing with Chet. Just looking at catch and shoot, 41.8%. 3.8 of his 4.1 threes are catch and shoots. Those are generally off of Shea pick and rolls, Williams pick and rolls. The catch and shoot stuff are usually wide open looks. Let me see. 3 attempts a game, according to the NBA stats. He's considered wide open, 36.9% from 3. The ones that he's considered open, 4.6, 1 attempt a game, 44.4. He's getting the cleanest looks. Courtroom, it's too early to really start kind of killing Scoot. I think we just need to give Scoot time. The injury and everything set him back. I think Wemby's just as good defensively as Chet. So for me, that's a wash. I think for me that's a wash. And Wemby, who I thought would struggle rebounding wise, has actually kind of come back in terms of rebounding as a whole, which is pretty good. So I don't think so. Like for me, so really the only difference for you is Wemby's not shooting a high enough 3-point percentage, so Chet should be the MVP, Rookie of the Year. Even though he's playing with the MVP that's creating all of those looks for him. I don't think he shoots that high of a percentage if he's in San Antonio. So I would just say that. And I think the other way around, I think Wemby is just as dominant as Chet in Oklahoma City. Maybe he's not picking and popping, but you're going to pull in and suck guys in on the roll, and that's going to create other threes for everybody else. And it's not like Chet is the only shooter on the Thunder. Right? So I think that's kind of where I'm at with all of that stuff. That's where I'm at. I think it's Wemby. I think Wemby should be the Rookie of the Year. I think this is something I've been thinking about for a while, but then seeing it last night, I think the whole difference. But Shane, you're looking at it as helping you win games. I don't think spacing is why you should win Rookie of the Year. That's not my reasoning as Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to give Rookie of the Year to a second option. Unless the rest of the class is that bad. I just don't think that's the fair part. I just don't. I think the number one option on a team, again, throw the wins out. I think the guy that's the number one option that has to face some of the toughest defenders is going to put up numbers. I mean, just let's not ignore the fact that Chet didn't guard Wemby. That wasn't his assignment. It was Williams. I mean, there's also some of that, and I understand the logic behind it. Let him roam, let him do all that stuff. Wemby is taking on the tougher projects, the tougher assignments as well defensively. So I think there's all of that stuff. I don't subscribe to that. I consider him a real rookie because it's cool. I think it helps traveling, understanding the schedule. I think he's hitting the rookie wall now. Chet looks a little tired to me, and it really showed to me in the Clipper game. I think that's where I began to start changing, all that stuff. I mean, we're not going to do a whole year of training. He got hurt. The Liz Frank thing knocked him out for a while, and all of that stuff. So there's just that stuff. But again, agree to disagree. Everybody have your opinion. My opinion, Wemby should be the Rookie of the Year. He's probably not going to be the Rookie of the Year. I think the ultimate thing is the I think everybody's going to kind of go with Shane on the sense of like, team's so much better. And it's not even close. The team is so much better that it's got to be Chet. It's not that different than the Paolo Banchero and the J-Dub Rookie of the Year battle. Although J-Dub came on strong at the end. I think Victor should be it. We'll see how it plays out through all of this stuff. If you looked actually at DraftKings odds this morning, it actually is a nothing's ever a black and white conversation, Shane. Come on, man. If you look at the DraftKings odds, they've actually flipped now, and Wemby is now the favorite for Rookie of the Year. I think that's going to go back and forth through the course of the whole season. But this is stuff just watching again how it's kind of played out in January and seeing it, kind of look at like Chet looks a little more tired to me. When you look at his last few games, he's had a couple games where he's popped with 15, stuff like that. He had a bunch of games where he just had 5 rebounds and things like that. Last night he had 10 rebounds. Good night for him. Then the game before, 9 rebounds, like he's beginning to get that back. Let's see how it goes. For me, still Wemby. So go ahead, fire away with questions. We got about 10 minutes, and then I got to get going. Oh, Badger. I mean, here's the thing about Chet that's amazing. I don't think people realized how good he was. I didn't realize he was going to come in and be this right now. I didn't think he was going to come in and be a 38.5% three-point shooter right now. And don't think for a second, just because I think Victor should be the MVP, or excuse, not MVP, Rookie of the Year. Don't think for a second I think Chet's bad. Chet's awesome. Chet's amazing. And this is going to be a fun Oklahoma team. I don't think anybody expected him to come in the way he's come in. And I think that's part of the fun about it, with all that stuff. What's wrong with the Heat? I get worried about saying something's wrong with the Heat. I just think they tend to play possum and then come playoff time destroy everybody. Doesn't help that Jaime Jaquez missed the game last night. I still think they'll have to figure out all those things and get the flow of it. I think that's getting Rozier, kind of get the flow. I like the Rozier trade. We talked about it on Tuesday. Go check out that show. You can also check out these shows. I'm going to be putting these shows back up on YouTube afterwards with all of that, once I download it and get it up. But you can go check it out there or catch it on demand here on Twitch. Helps me either way. Who should the Cavs trade for a wing is the question. Right now, if I'm the Cavs, I kind of just, you can't do anything until you know what the story is with Donovan Mitchell. Is he staying? Is he going? If he's going, then you're going to start looking to make moves. So it's hard to kind of say who they should trade for at the wing unless it's like an easy deal. I don't see there being an option right now. They're kind of in a weird limbo situation. Why the heck would the Pistons go after Levine? Because the Pistons are poorly run and not smart. Could you rank the Celtics starters by importance to the team? Very curious. Tatum, Porzingis, White, Brown. Who's the fifth starter? Oh, Holiday. Excuse me, Holiday, then Brown. And that's not a shot at Brown. That's just, these guys are all so important. But I think Porzingis gives you a chance to play differently and gives you different looks. I think White does so much for them on both ends of the court. Holiday defensively in that zone is awesome. And look, man, Brown, I think, is a little bit duplicative of Tatum. CMD, probably. He probably could have. If he did this performance last year, he probably would have. Shane, thank you for asking that again. Yes, he is a good coach. He is a good coach. Not a great coach, but a good coach. And very good offensively. And I think you just look at the stuff they're doing, is pretty impressive. The team is kind of in a weird maturity situation. It's hard to coach that out of guys. And we're talking about Towns, who's been in the league for like 8-9 years now. Badger, but I think he has to get better as a shooter. But I think he's in a weird spot in Cleveland because I really think he should be the secondary playmaker. Not the second option, but the secondary playmaker. I think they need to run things through him in the high post and at the elbow. With that is he has to shoot the ball better. I think, Shane, that's something that you would look at and consider more in the offseason. No, Court, they won't. And they don't do that. They really don't. Because believe me, in this day and age, that shit would have come out. Ain't anybody, they're not keeping secrets. Yeah, Zach, like that was the thing when they lost those guys. Counterintuitively, they've found more flow offensively. Uh, Jared Allen's been awesome. Obviously, Garland's been really good with everything that he's doing. I think it's interesting. And then you have guys like Struz has been awesome for them. Any more questions, guys? Last call. Otherwise, we'll adjourn here and get everybody can get on with their day. There might be. I'm not promising this. There might be a playback today at 4:30. Kind of depends how my day goes, and how much stuff I get done. But I might do a Boston Miami playback. I don't know if it's going to be a good game, but I kind of feel like Miami getting, kind of having a bad loss last night. I feel like they'd probably bump up, and I think that'd be an interesting one. Who should trade for Tyus Jones? Any team that needs a good backup point guard. Any team who needs a good backup point guard should probably consider trading for Tyus Jones. Nuggets Knicks, actually, Zach, that's actually probably the better game. I just missed that on the calendar. I might do that game instead. But yes, I will probably be doing a. I'm not 100% sure. It's 50-50 right now. So we have to see how kind of the day goes. If it goes well enough, I get enough done, I might be doing a playback tonight. All right, guys. Let's wrap here today. Thank you for coming through. Again, always thank you for supporting me with everything we do, Twitch, playbacks, all that stuff. I think we're through all those days. Hopefully I'll be able to do a lot more stuff. And do these more often. These are fun for me. It's really sometimes just finding the time to be able to do everything and get everything down. And whatnot. And I love the debates. Shane, good on you, bud. I love the debates, and I appreciate it. And by the way, we can have the civil conversation and debate without getting into mean stuff, and I appreciated that. That was fun stuff. Everybody be good, stay safe, and if I see you on the playback tonight, great. If not, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys sometime next week. All right, peace.